So if you watched our financial planning 101 video, you'll know that we look at financial planning as creating a business plan for life, making sure all aspects of your financial life are coordinated and working together. Those aspects are tax planning, cash flow management, investment positioning, and estate preservation. So let's look at it again, each one individually from a Christian perspective. I'm going to start with investing because as a financial advisor, that's probably one of the biggest topics that comes up, right? Is what are we going to do? Where are we going to put this money? How are we going to invest to accomplish whatever the goal is, right? So if we're looking at investing from a Christian perspective, then let's kind of look at some scriptures and some thoughts that I have on this. First, I'll go back to the story I shared originally is one that kind of revolves around a lot of our work is the story of the talents that Jesus told. And in that story, again, the one that was given 5 or 10 talents when the master went away earned more. That means they invested in something, right? Doesn't say what they did, but they earned more. They took it and they put it to work for them. They put the money to work for them and they created a profit. And that's really what investing is, right? Is taking what we have and earning more. In First Timothy, actually, it talks about that if we don't provide for our family, it's almost like denying the faith. So when we're looking at providing for the future, investing is one of them, right? It's using the resources God gives us wisely. Now, when it comes to investing, there can be lots of thoughts on, well, how do we invest in what company we invest in? And I know there's a lot out there. I've saw like different ETF funds, which are like a mutual fund, a pooled investment that are considered quote unquote faith funds, meaning they're only wanting to support the certain companies that maybe match our beliefs. And while I admire those things in some ways, it is hard to get a complete, diversified, non-correlated investment put together just that way. Now, let me put it this way. It is really important, in my opinion, that when we are working with anyone for any specific area in our life, especially when it comes to partnering with somebody, that the scripture about not being unequally yoked is important. So we need to be working with people that are faith-minded. So our portfolio managers, actually, that do all the investing for us, they are Christians. The president, Mike Riccardi, the first conversation I ever had with him was very little about investing and their strategies. It was really about faith and how we both are talking about being a good steward of our resources and being a good steward for our clients. So now I'll talk a little bit more about being unequally yoked later, but I do think it's important that we are thinking and working with people of like-minded. That said, it is hard to find every company and everybody that we might invest in that's 100% exactly what we believe. For instance, okay, I'm just going to take this to shopping. I personally think that there's corruption in Walmart and Amazon and lots of these places where we would get stuff from. But if I refuse to shop at them, I can't get supplies, right? So in some essence, while I believe there's probably corruption and there's things that I don't like about them, I'm kind of forced to shop at one of them or both of them at certain times. And so the same is kind of true with investing. In one way, Mike Riccardi put it to me, and his son Guy, who's our portfolio manager, is there's another scripture that talks about that the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. And so while we don't want to unequally partner with someone who's not a Christian, investing in companies that maybe don't, we can't get down to the details and know they're 100% the same faith statement. If there's growth there and we can benefit from it and be good stewards of our clients' money without promoting the wrong things, then that's what we do. So again, not every company that we invest in is going to be a Christian company. Not every company that we work with is a Christian company, but the people at the head, the people that are managing it, we believe should be Christians and helping us to invest the money in the right way. So just a little caveat, we can get into more details on this in any of our portfolios and things we avoid and what we look for to put together. But we should be investing. That is one thing that I believe as a Christian, and the talent story of the talent says, okay, we can't get the wealth of the riches, or the wealth of the wicked laid up for the righteousness if we're not investing in doing these things. We can't turn our talents into more if we're not investing. However, I also want to flip to the other side. That's not so financial here, but it's just as important when it comes to investing. And well, I guess it can tie in financially. Are we investing in the kingdom as well? So, of course, if we put a portfolio together and we're investing it for a return, um, and to help you with a specific goal, whether that's retirement income or everything else. But I do believe that we should also be investing into the kingdom. Um, Jesus said, seek first the kingdom of heaven, and all these things will be added unto you. And I'll talk about giving in other ways too, probably when we get to cash flow as well. But as an advisor, as a Christian, we should also be investing in God's kingdom. And how that looks to you could be different. One of my favorite books for this topic is called Gospel Patriots, and it's talking about how some of the biggest works of the gospel, right? Translating scriptures, different things like that. Even Paul's ministry was funded by business owners or funded by somebody who was wealthy, right? To get that going. And when I talk about investing, that also comes to mind. Where can we put our money and sow it into God's kingdom for the return, not to so much to be here, but to use our wealth to further God's kingdom and therefore store up riches for ourselves in heaven. So we do need to invest our money here, to be careful, to be planned, that we're planning for our future, uh, that we're taking care of in our family, and our retirement, which we'll talk about that topic too. There's another video on a Christian's perspective of retirement. But on the flip side, when we're looking at investing, I think it's too important for us to not acknowledge that we should also continually be investing in the kingdom of heaven. So what has God called you to do? How could you um, advance God's work with your resources, right? So take a look at some of the resources I put below, and that book is an awesome book to read if you get a chance. Um, but if when you're thinking about investing, I want you to think about that way. One, yes, God's called us to, we should invest, we should make more with what we have. That's how we be a good steward. And two, we should always be investing in the kingdom of heaven as well. So stay on for the next few videos and we'll talk through each of these other topics as well.